And we are now live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to KPU International's Fall 2021 Pre-Arrival webinar. My name is Dmitry, and I'm International Student Life Coordinator with the Global Engagement Team here at KPU. As always, I would like to start with the acknowledgement by telling you that all KPU members are proud to work, study, and live in the region south of the Fraser River, which overlaps with the unceded traditional and ancestral lands of the Kwantlen, Musqueam, Katsi, Simyamu, Tsawwassen, Kekait, and Kwikwatlin peoples. Before actually starting telling you about some agenda points for today, guys, I would like to thank everyone who is joining us. We're here today because we would like to support you guys to facilitate your trip to Canada and your adventure to Canadian education. I know you guys been waiting for this for such a long time, so here we are finally to deliver you some important information. Many of you might have a lot of questions by now, but we would like to ask you to stay patient, watch this presentation till the end, and in case you guys still have some questions, you can always refer to our Q&A section, where our student assistants will gladly answer them for you. I would also like to remind everyone that today's session will be recorded and send it to you later in the next week. So if you guys want to refresh some memories on the information that you're going to receive today, you can always rewatch this webinar in the future. Last but not least, I would like to introduce two more presenters for today, Sylvia with the Global Engagement team and Josie with the Orientation and Transitions team. Thank you guys for joining. Without further ado, let's look at the screens. And as you guys can see, today we're going to have some introduction part where we'll tell you more about KPU itself, KPU International, and British Columbia, as well as the Metro Vancouver area. Right after that, we'll move to the getting prepared part, which is main part of this presentation. We'll provide you some information on the documents and essential that you guys need to pack and bring with you before you take flight to Canada. And then Josie will take over with some information that you guys need to know before you take the flight, when you arrive to the airport of the destination. And once you're done with the immigration, successfully go through the customs and claim your baggage. Okay, we'll also update you on crucial information that you need to know about current quarantine exemptions, as well as provide you with the housing options, which is really important for those who are newly arriving to Canada. And then Sylvia will join with some information on KPU campuses, how you guys can get around Vancouver, how you can move between the campuses, some health insurance information. I know you guys been asking for this, a lot of questions in emails. Working and volunteering opportunities will be covered as well, which in my opinion is really important for those students who wants to get some experience while they're studying at KPU. And we also recommend you some good places that you can eat at. I know lots of you guys will miss for your home food, especially during your first months. So don't worry about that, we got you. And then we'll wrap up this webinar with some what's next information, which is going to include things that every student wish they'd known, as well as what are the next steps you guys need to know once we finish today's webinar. So if you guys don't want to miss any of this information, please watch this webinar and stay tuned. Okay, going next, we would like to actually start with some little ice-breaking activity. Let's get to know each other, guys. We'd like to know more about you. And in this part, we actually want to know where you guys joining from and what program are you guys taking or are you planning to take. So in order to do that, I would like to ask you guys to go to this website, which called menti.com, and you need to enter this code in order to join the questions. And I'm going to actually share my other screen. If you can give me a few seconds. Yeah, sorry for the delay, guys. Yes, now voting is open and you guys can start actually sending those answers. Let's see how many students are joining us. What are the program you guys going to take? And as we can see, we have 3 members for the business faculty and 2 attendees taking some science courses. That's nice. I'll give you guys 1 minute, so don't worry about it. We still have some time to answer this question. And I would like to remind that you can also do it from your phones or your computer or your mobile device. It should work on any of your devices. All right, looks like majority of the students are taking business courses. We have 1 student from arts, which is nice. 2 students from arts. And 5 students from the 6 students from the 7 students from the science faculty. Oh my goodness. Thank you again, guys, for joining. Okay, no more time. Thank you for answering, and let's move over to the next question, which is, where are you guys joining us from? And same as for the previous question, I'll give you guys 1 minute. Let's see how many countries we have today. Okay, we have some students from India, China, arts, which is a country that I've never heard about before. Probably someone meant the faculty that are going to take. Oh, someone input a flag, but I'm not sure is that an Indian flag? I'm pretty sure it's an Indian flag, right? Okay, Vietnam, Philippines, Germany, Hong Kong. 10 seconds to go, guys. Canada. I'm really interested who put Canada. Okay, no more time, guys. Thank you for sharing. It's so nice to have students from different countries from all around the world, pretty much. And I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'll put back the presentation. Okay, now it should be back. And let's move over. And as I promised before, I'm going to talk a little bit more about KPU and as well as some interesting facts about it. Let's actually start with the question, guys. What is KPU? Well, KPU stands for Kwantlen Polytechnic University and is considered as the largest polytechnic university in Canada. It was established in 1981 and it has more than 20,000 students taking our classes from more than 120 programs every year. Polytechnic word stands for Polytechnic approach. That means that we trying to combine academic excellence with an applied learning in our courses. In a recent survey that we took among our current and former students, 94% of the students indicated that if they had a chance to take their program again, they would definitely do that, which is really good information, not only for us, but probably for you guys. And another fact about KPU is that we have 5 campuses located all around the Metro Vancouver area. Later in this presentation, my colleague Sylvia will tell you more about, will show you the map of the Metro Vancouver area as well as our campuses and how to explain you more about how to move between those campuses. So watch this presentation, guys. Okay. Going next, I'm going to tell you more about KPU International. So what's the difference between KPU and KPU International? Some of you might be asking this question, and gladly we have an answer for you guys. KPU International pretty much is a team of 50 professionals working on the daily basis to support you guys, international students, and only. We have 4 different designated teams that are responsible for providing different kind of help. Those teams are admissions and recruitment team, transition team, international student life team, as well as international advising. So if you guys, it doesn't matter what kind of inquiries and questions you guys have, we're always here for you right from the beginning. If you're just deciding or planning to apply for the KPU or you already admitted, so our admissions team will help you with those. Or if you guys already going through the second or third semester and you're not sure like if you're studying the right program or you're not sure how to successfully complete your program, you can always refer to the international advising team where you can always seek for the professional help of our advisors. Okay, let's now move over and let's talk a little bit about actually Metro Vancouver area. Some of you might not know this, but Vancouver is actually not a small town, but instead it's a huge agglomeration that includes multiple cities, such as Richmond, Surrey, Burnaby, North Vancouver, and many others. It has a population of nearly 2.5 million people living at the moment. And because of that, British Columbia is also famous for its diversity and cultures. In fact, BC is considered as the most ethnically diverse province in Canada, and it includes more than 20 different ethnicities that constantly living on the territory of British Columbia. Some of the first things that you guys might notice when you arrive here to Vancouver, that people might be different here. They might have different cultures, they might have different beliefs, and this is because they all came from different parts of the world, and it's normal. Something that might be considered as a standard in your country, it might be improper or completely different in other places. So it's really good to remember that respecting each other and respecting other people's beliefs and cultures and treating each other well. That's all you guys need to know about. Okay, because of that, actually, some of the people might feel a culture shock, especially during the first time they arrive to Canada. But have you actually ever, I know that you guys heard about this word, but have you actually know the definition of the word? If you haven't, we have prepared this one for you. And according to the Cambridge Dictionary, a culture shock is a feeling of confusion that results from suddenly experiencing a culture with customs that are not familiar to you. So how do you guys get rid of a culture shock? Because for some people it might take less time to get used to the Canadian culture, different cultures that are living here. But for some people, it might take a little bit longer. So we prepared some tips for you today that you can use, that I personally use because I was an international student myself. And one of them is bringing something with you that will remind about your home. If, I don't know, it might be something really little that you can place on your table where you're gonna take your work or take your courses, sit most of your time, especially if you take online classes. And looking at those items are really warming your soul, and they really help you to decrease the feeling of the homesick. Another advice I really recommend you to do once you arrive to Vancouver, guys, is to browse around your neighborhood and try to find some local grocery stores or restaurants from your own cultures and cuisines, because I assure you guys, you're gonna miss your home food. It will take you some time to get used to the local food, and if you really want to be okay with your diet, with eating some good food, mixing it up with Canadian food, yeah, just browse around, try to find some local restaurants. Later in this presentation, Silvia will actually share you information about different places you can go to in the different areas of the Vancouver. Another tip for today is finding some community centers and joining some sport clubs. It's a really good advice, actually, because a lot of people like starting, sharing mutual interest by doing some sport together. You never know, you can find some new friends. Community centers, they're also located in different areas of the Vancouver city, but on top of that, we also have a Kwantlen Student Association that will provide you with different clubs that you can join, guys. So just be active, be proactive, try to browse more information about it, and you will be cool, guys. And last tip for today is creating some routines. I know it sounds pretty trivial, but once you get used to the things, once you like start doing your like courses, your classes, communicating and hanging with your friends. I don't know, going to the cinemas, and cinemas are open in Vancouver, which is, in case if you guys didn't know, I don't know, different kind of activities. It really helps to relieve the culture shock feeling and homesick in precise. Okay, going next, let's talk about some weather in BC. And as you might have heard, Vancouver is considered one of the best places and cities, not only in Canada, but worldwide, that you can live in. And this is mostly because of the weather and soft climate we have. Vancouver is really famous for being really sunny and nice in summer. So if you guys are arriving in July, August, September, it's really good for you guys, because you will actually get the best weather in Vancouver. But on the flip side, not a lot of students and people arriving to Vancouver know about it. We have not a little, actually, more like rainy days than other cities, especially in the winter time. So buying like a warm water resistant or waterproof jacket or shoes, and getting yourself an umbrella, it's a really good addition to your wardrobe, guys. Okay, let's go next. What should you bring to Canada? So here's some documents and essential that we really, guys, recommend to bring you to pack with you before you arrive to Canada, guys. I believe student assistant will post the link in the chat, so if you can click on it and see, you can save the link for yourself for the future, but also you can see this information in the recording, like I said before. The most important document, guys, that you need to bring is obviously passport. You cannot travel without a passport at all. So this is obvious, but other than that, is if you're like a returning student or a new student, it doesn't matter. You should have a TRV, which is a visitor's visa. And for if you're a student who's staying here for more than 6 months, you should bring a study permit. But this one is for returning students only. If you're a new student, don't worry about this point. You will get your study permit once you arrive to Canada first time at the immigration desk. Letter of acceptance is nice to have as well. Maybe financial proof they might ask you at the airport, you might not know. As well as printed copies of the quarantine plan and the negative COVID-19 test result taken within 72 hours. This is really important, guys, because you never know when your cell phone battery might die, or you might have some issues with connecting to the ArriveCAN application where you guys submit your documents before you arrive to Canada. So if you take extra step and print out copies, or maybe take a screenshot and keep it like offline on your phones, it's really nice to have, guys. And some of the essentials, guys, I would say the most important is our cell phones and the laptop, because you cannot take your classes and communicate without those devices, as well as the chargers for them. And some of the, because of the recent pandemic, might be really useful, like hand sanitizer, maybe disposable masks. Here currently in Vancouver, it's not mandatory to wear the mask, but it's highly recommended. And it's actually mandatory for people who are not fully vaccinated. And in case, guys, if you have some issues or condition with your health, we recommend you to bring a minimum 1 month's worth of the prescribed medications, because it might take some time to find to go to the walk-in clinic in here and to get a prescription. So come prepared, guys. Okay, let's go next, and I will actually pass it over to my colleague Josie. Go ahead, Josie.
Hi everyone, my name is Josie, and now I will guide you on what to prepare before you come to Canada. So as you may know that on July 5th, the government of Canada has announced that travelers who are fully vaccinated may be eligible for quarantine exemptions. That is the reason why we have two different groups of students here. For those who are fully vaccinated, you need to prepare this document before entering Canada border. So you need to bring a confirmations of enrollment, travel support letter, and if you want to know more information about travel support letter, please send me the email via internationaltransitions@kpu.ca. The email address is going to be in the chat. And if you fully vaccinated, you do not need to reserve a government authorized hotel for 3 nights. And you need to upload your proof of approved vaccinations on ArriveCAN in French or English. But please also bring the physical copy with you. And for travelers who are not eligible for quarantine exemptions, you need to bring a confirmations of enrollment as well, travel support letter. Additionally, you need to reserve a government authorized hotel for 3 nights. Before moving to the next slide, I would like to note that fully vaccinated traveler entering Canada are still required to have a regular 14-day plan. Next slide, please. Okay, now you're at the port of entry, meaning that you are in Canada. I know after a long flight, you just want to go to your accommodations and take a rest. And if this is your first time to come to Canada, it will be a little bit overwhelmed. I still remember when I first came here, I was scared, but let I tell you, the border officer not gonna scare you. So be patient, we only have a few steps left. So all travelers must go to immigrations, and that if this is your first time to come to Canada, the border officer will issue you a study permit, and it's look like that. We have the sample here, and after you pass the immigrations, you're gonna go to the custom, and then you're gonna go to the baggage claim, And due to the COVID, all traveler have to take the COVID-19 testing. And after the entry, traveler are eligible for quarantine exemptions. You must retain the records of your vaccinations for at least 14 days after your arrival. You have to follow all instructions provided to you at the port of entry and follow all provincial guidelines. And for travelers who are not eligible for quarantine exemptions, you need to stay in the GAA hotel while awaiting the result of the COVID-19 test taken on the arrival. And you need to complete the remainder of 14-day quarantine. And the information below apply to travelers who are not eligible for quarantine exemptions. So after you stop over in the GAA, you need to stay in the GAA hotel. Oh, after you stop over in GAA hotel, you will have to spend the remainder of your 14-day plan in your own suitable place of quarantine, meaning that you have access to the necessity of life, including water, food, medications, and heat without leaving your quarantine. And you need to avoid contact with others who did not travel with you. I know that you may miss your family, friends, or your beloved one. However, for everyone's safety, there will be no visits from your family or your guests. And you need to take another COVID test on day 8. And you can only leave your quarantine place if your result is negative. Okay, now you are living in the airport, so you need to take some kind of transportations. So you either be picked up by your family or your friend in a private vehicle. If you want to take a taxi, the taxi are located on the level 2 of the domestic and international arrival area. The hotel shuttle may available. You please contact the hotel services if you stay in the hotel. Or you can use the ride app services such as Uber or Lyft. I highly recommend you guys wear masks at all time. Okay, let's talk about housing options. So we have 3 main type of housing option here. Number 1 is homestay. Second is student accommodations off campus, and the last one is renting. Now I will discuss detail about the options. Okay, if you choose homestay, you're gonna live in a Canadian home as a member of the family. You're gonna share meal with your host, and you're gonna get a fully furnished room, and the utility, including heat, water, are included in your price. And you will have a chance to participate in the family activity and conversations. In this way, you will know more about Canadian culture. And if you are a minor student, your host can provide custodianship services for you. Okay, let's talk about student accommodations. So if you choose these options, you will also have the fully furnished room, and the utility are usually included as well. And if you don't know how to cook or you don't have time to cook for yourself, meal options are also available. And you can experience living in a community with other students. And one of the biggest advantages of choosing student accommodations is that you can expand your network in Canada beyond your KPU connections. And the final option is rental. This is quite popular as well. And one of the most popular websites for rental are Craigslist, Kijiji, Facebook. However, please note that KPU does not verify the information in these listing and websites, nor are the list properties subject to any form of university inspections. KPU does not take responsibility for off-campus rental accommodations. Although some students manage to find a really good deal and good place to live via online platform, however, not all rental listings are real. some are scam posting. That is a reason why it's really important to stay alert to warning sign while you secure housing. The number one scam is if you see the rental price is extremely cheap. If the price look too good to be true, it could be a scam. For example, if you find an apartment with 2 bedrooms located in the heart of downtown, closing to everything, closing to SkyTrain with only like $1,000, I can tell you it's definitely a scam. That is the reason why I highly recommend you guys to do the research about the average price of the rental place at the area that you want to live. In that way, you're not gonna fall for this scam. And if the landlord is asking for a deposit before meeting you or showing you the rental, in more cases, if you haven't been able to visit the rental or have someone you trust to visit the rental on your behalf, you should be very cautious when proceeding with any payment, because if it's a scam, you don't know who they are, and then you can never get your money back. And finally, if the landlord is asking for too much personal information, such as bank account, social insurance, and credit card information, they may be trying to scam you. If this is the first time you come to Canada, I can tell you that your personal information, such as social insurance number, is really, really important. You need to keep it like in the safe place. So in order to avoid scam and find a good place to live, you need before renting, you need to ask yourself these questions. So will you be close to your main KPU campus? If not, will it be easy to get to campus by public transportations? Please note that KPU have several campuses. Make sure you know which one is your campus. And is your rental furnished? What amenity are close to your rental? Would you live with a roommate? And finally, and the most importantly, have you signed a rental agreement? Your tenant rights are only protected if you sign a rental agreement. So make sure you sign before you proceed any payment. And now let's move on to the KPU Live, and my coworker Sylvia gonna talk about that in more detail.
Thank you, Josie. So as Josie mentioned, we have many campuses that are on the screen right now. They're all connected by transit. Some of them are connected by the KPU Shuttle as well, but it's always helpful to know where your classes are at so that you don't have a class say in the morning at KPU Langley, all the way on the right side of the screen, and then an afternoon class all the way in KPU Richmond. If you don't have a car, it can be difficult to get between those places in a short amount of time. So as you can see, this is a map of Metro Vancouver with all of the KPU campuses that we have. Up in the top left is Vancouver, right above KPU Richmond, which is connected by the SkyTrain. Most of your classes will likely be in KPU Surrey, unless you're taking some specific courses. But it's always a good thing to check when you register. You would have seen, unless you're taking online courses under campus, it would either say online or one of these names, Surrey, Tech, Civic Plaza, Richmond. So it's a good thing to keep an eye on. And this map kind of gives you an idea as to where all of those are situated. So let's talk about getting around. So as I mentioned, most of our campuses are connected by transit. So we recommend you get a Compass card instead of paying for cash each time. It's definitely less expensive that way. I have mine right here. This is what it looks like. And we also recommend you get the UPass. So this is for university students, and it also discounts your fare. You are automatically in this program if you are taking in-person classes. However, if you're taking online classes this upcoming semester, but you would still benefit from having this UPass transit, then you can email multipass@kusa.ca asking them about their transit subsidy program. And these are our campus shuttles. So as you can see, they're between most campuses. So it's a good thing to look out for on your first day on campus, kind of figure out where the shuttle leaves from. The only campuses that aren't connected are Surrey and Civic Plaza, because there's a bus that goes directly there. And there's also a bus going directly from the Surrey campus to the Richmond campus. However, you can take the campus shuttle in the evenings. So it's definitely a nice thing to have. You can ride for free as long as you have your KPU library ID card, which you can pick up at the library once you arrive. All right, next we're going to talk a little bit about health insurance. I know that a lot of students have a lot of questions about this, and it can be a little bit confusing to navigate. So we will go into more in depth about health insurance sometime during the first couple of weeks. Sometime during the first couple of weeks of classes. However, I will go over the basics right now. So GuardMe is the first health insurance that you should be aware of. This is your temporary basic health insurance. So it covers things such as doctor's appointments, hospital visits, and you're automatically enrolled in it, so you don't need to worry about that. BCMSP is also a basic health insurance. However, you need to enroll yourself in it. This is mandatory for anybody living in BC. So once you arrive to British Columbia, you'll need to apply. You can apply either in person at a Service BC, or you can apply online pretty easily. When I moved here, it took me maybe like 10 minutes to just put all my documents together and apply online. So we definitely recommend you do that. And then once you have your BCMSP, which arrives within around 2 to 3 months, then you can opt out of GuardMe. If you have any questions about this, feel free to email us at Intel Student Life, and we can guide you through that process. The last type of health insurance you should know about is the KSA Extended Health and Dental. So this is from your student association. And what Extended Health and Dental means is that it's everything it's in addition to your basic health insurance. So it's things like if you need to see an optometrist, if you need to see the dentist, a chiropractor, massage therapist, all those types of things are covered through your KSA Extended Health and Dental Plan, and you're also automatically enrolled in that. So you can search for that to get all the details as to what your benefits are. All right, so I understand that when you're moving to a new place, starting university, maybe for the first time, being away from your family, it can be a bit overwhelming, and it's okay to feel culture shock, as Dima mentioned. It's a lot going on at once. It's very important to take care of your mental well-being while you're here, especially during the first year that you're here. It can be difficult for some students. There's a lot of exciting things happening, but there's also a lot of changes. So a couple of things that we recommend is, of course, we have professional counselors at KPU that you can make an appointment for. And then we also have something called the MySSP app, which is a very cool app. I recommend you download it just to see all the different activities you can do on it for free. But it also has 24/7 online professional counseling. So you can access this from anywhere in the world. For free. You can reach a counselor, and also in 50 different languages. So if you would prefer to speak to someone in your first language, it's very likely that they will have someone available for you to do that with. There's also Campus Well, which is monthly emails to promote healthy bodies and healthy minds. And sometimes if you just want to talk to a fellow student about what's going on, I would recommend the KSA Peer Support Program. So this is led by student volunteers. They provide one-on-one support, some peer chats, group chats, different wellness events around campus. So that if that's something you're interested in, then I definitely recommend checking that out on the KSA website. On the topic of safety, so Canada is a very safe country. Metro Vancouver is pretty safe. However, of course, you always want to be cautious. We always recommend that if you're going out at night, that you have a buddy with you, that somebody knows where you are. But say, for example, if you were studying very late on campus, one day and you would prefer to have someone walk you to your car or to have someone walk you to the bus stop, you can download this app, KPU Safe Walk program, and we can have someone from KPU Security walk you to the bus or to your car just for extra safety. So we recommend downloading that as well. Next, we're going to talk about working and volunteering. So I know a lot of students have part-time jobs while they're in school. They also like to be involved on campus. So of course, you first want to check your eligibility. When you receive your study permit at the airport, check the bottom to see if you're eligible for on and or off campus work. And if you are, that's great. We have lots of opportunities for you. We recommend checking out Career Connections. That's under our career services at KPU. We have on-campus opportunities, off-campus opportunities there. Of course, you want to be smart looking at the off-campus opportunities and not take anything that sounds too good to be true. But we also have a lot of opportunities to work with us at KPU International, so you can check out those as well. And I also recommend volunteering, especially if you don't have too much work experience. If you're interested in a field but need to gain some more experience in it, volunteering is a great way to start building connections, to build some strong references. So your volunteer supervisor can say, oh yes, this person is very responsible. They showed up on time. We have a lot of volunteers at KPU International that help us out with events, with welcoming new students. There's also, of course, volunteers with the KSA, as I mentioned, such as for peer support. There's a lot of different opportunities on campus to start building your credibility and building your skill set. It's also a great way to make new friends. We have volunteers from all over the world and also domestic and international students alike. So I definitely recommend checking out KPU Better Impact to look for volunteering opportunities. Okay, so we asked our student assistants and some other students as well where they like to eat in between classes at each campus. And so we've compiled a short list for you here that we can share with you. I heard really good things about Kwalin Pizza. It's right across from the main Surrey campus. It's cheap. And it's good. So what more can you want from a pizza place? There's also Boiling Point and White Spot, and those are more like sit-down restaurants. One of the recommendations we got is Sanja Punjab. We got the recommendation that you should try their samosas there. So there's a lot of different options. We have a lot of different cuisines from around the world in Metro Vancouver, which is really lovely. In Richmond, we also have a lot of really great places to eat. I know a lot of my colleagues that come to work in Richmond for a day. Next slide, please. Actually don't usually bring their lunch because there's just so many great food options around. Right across from the Richmond campus, there's the TNT. So that's an Asian grocery store. You can go in there and get your groceries, and you can also just get hot food to go. In that same mall, in the Lansdowne Center, there's a food court with a lot of different places to eat. There's a farmer's market in there as well. It's quite a nice area to go get some food in between classes. One of my favorites is Snowy Village Dessert Cafe, where you can get this huge tub of shaved ice that could feed like 5 people. So bring your friends there for sure. And in Langley campus, we also have a few good places to eat. We have Sushi Geo, which we were recommended the sushi for there. Cora's is a very popular brunch, so breakfast, lunch type place. And a helpful tip that the student assistants gave us is that you can find Tim Hortons and Subway around the different KPU locations, and you can also find Starbucks coffee at our cafes. So the next thing that you probably want to do once you arrive in Canada or before arriving to Canada is get a Canadian bank account. So these are some of the banks that we have. There's more than this. We definitely recommend doing your own research and seeing what best fits for you, for your situation. You can even go in and talk to someone in person, or you can just look on their websites. Same goes for cell phone plans. So these are some of the providers that we have. You can find them in most of the big malls or central areas. So same goes for these. You will want to check out what works best for you, and then you can bring your phone and get one of these plans. Okay, so the other thing that we ask some of our students is what do you wish you had known before you started at KPU and or before you came to Canada? So a lot of our students were in the exact same place that you are. They're a little bit nervous, excited about starting their journey at KPU, about going back to campus. And so these are their recommendations. Like I mentioned, you want to know which campuses your classes will be at, so you're not running around all across the city for your classes. Always include your student number and emails for faster assistance. This is a big one. If you have a question, it's always helpful to email us with your student number so we can look into your specific case. There are gym facilities, and it's included in your tuition fee, so you might as well make good use of it. They're pretty nice facilities. I know we also have a yoga studio in Richmond campus as well. KPU libraries have nice, quiet study areas, so once you start to get familiar with your campus, you'll start to find some nice spots that you'll just be like, yeah, this is my perfect study spot. Something cool that I didn't know about is that you can register for a 6-month free Amazon Prime with your student number. We recommend downloading the iSent app. So the iSent app, if you haven't heard of it before, it's kind of your all-in-one KPU app. You can input your study permit there once you receive it. You can find out about events happening, find a pre-arrival checklist. It's a very helpful thing to have, so we recommend that. And we also want you to check out our events page. We work very hard to put together a page that shows all our upcoming events, so you can stay in touch with KPU International and see what kinds of things are going on and off campus. Check your KPU email regularly. This is really important. We bolded it because this is where we're going to be reaching out to you for. And it's also where your instructors and professors are going to be reaching out to you. So if you want to keep in touch with them, we definitely recommend emailing them from your KPU email. You can even forward your KPU email to your personal email just so that you start getting used to checking it regularly, because that's where all the important announcements are going to be, and it's where you're going to learn about what to expect for classes and all of that. And of course, here at KPU International, we have over 50 people, as Dima mentioned, here to support you and welcome you throughout your 2 to 4 years at KPU. All right. So what now? You've done your pre-arrival session. You're all ready to go. You know exactly what you need to do. This is great. The next thing you want to do is register for orientation. So orientation will happen the week before classes start. It will be online. There will be a domestic orientation session that you will need to sign up for. And then we have an orientation that's specific just for international students as well. So in addition to, the next thing that you'll want to do is sign up for a peer mentor. So our peer mentors are a really great resource. They are students, a lot of them are international students as well, that have been at KPU for a couple of years. They know the ins and outs, they've been in your position, and they just want to support the next group of incoming students as they start their journey. So we'll put the links to that in the chat, so where you can register for orientation and where you can sign up for a peer mentor who will guide you throughout your first semester at KPU. We also recommend you register for KPU 100. So taking classes at a Canadian post-secondary can be very different than taking high school. Even high school in Canada is very different than post-secondary in Canada. So it can be a little bit of a mind shift that you need to do when you're preparing for this. So something we recommend is registering for KPU 100, where you can kind of learn what the expectations are, what your professors are going to be expecting of you, how to write in a way that makes the most sense. So it's definitely a helpful class to take. It's doesn't count towards your GPA or anything. It's just kind of like a practice class. So it's definitely helpful. And while you're there, that's provided to you from the Learning Center. You can also look at the other upcoming workshops and resources that the Learning Center has. They have tutors, they have writing classes, they have workshops, they have so many different supports for students starting out. So we recommend checking that out. I believe that is the end of our presentation. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. We're going to continue answering your questions in the chat for the next 5 to 8 minutes or so. But thank you for being here. This was a really great way to get started. We're excited to welcome you to Canada and to KPU. And thank you so much.